Good day. Chief Opat here. I just want to let you know about the incremental treaty arrangement that we have negotiated with the province of British Columbia. I just want to give you what incremental treaty arrangement is. It's a program that was designed by the province of BC, where there is they're coming to an agreement very close to a treaty, and where it may be a year or two away, and the province felt that there should be some benefits to the citizens where they're negotiating with, to make sure that there are some lands that may be in the hands of the First Nation. Now, this is not the final land transfer. This is just the beginning. The land transfer that Lake Babine is negotiating with the province and with Canada is years away. So I don't think there has been full discussion on the land question or the land issue with the governments of Canada and British Columbia. But this program was just designed to get lands in the hands of First Nations where we can use it for economic and other uses within our territory. Now, the land in question, I'll start from the beginning. When I came back from my job at BC Treaty Commission, and when I started my job as chief 4 years ago, we went to Canada because I wanted Pendleton Bay back, so we can start building back the community that we left in the early. We were forced out in the early 60s, and I wanted that back so that we can bring our citizens back to that area. Canada told us that there's no chance for it because it's in the hands of private ownership. And we went to the province, and basically they said the same thing. It's in private ownership. But they just started a program called incremental treaty arrangements, where they can transfer some of the crown land stuff that is under their control, move back to the First Nations, and but because we were far away from AIP, which is Agreement in Principle stage, we may not be qualified for that. But we pushed it with the help of BC the Treaty Commission, and we got it on the table, and the government of British Columbia decided to negotiate with Lake Babine on a 500 hectare piece of property around Babine Lake that we can put under our control. As discussions grew, the lands in total was way over about 2,700 hectares, and it's all the lands between Fort Babine all the way to Silver Island and up to Pingot Lake. So these, and in here in Burns Lake too, the lands in question, the final agreement will see it in 3 stages. The first stage would be the lands in Fort Babine at the Fort Babine Lodge and McKendrick Island, the whole of McKendrick Island, and IR number 12 Michelle Pier going east to the little mountain, and also from Donald's Landing going west to where they say it's Pendleton Bay, but it's really Forestry Bay. So the land, well, there are a couple of parcels within that, from Donald's Landing to Forestry Bay. One was the Farmer Lodge, and 2 residences. Those will be not included, but those lands will be included. So those are the lands that we'll get back as soon as we agree with the government of BC on this. Canada is an observer throughout this negotiation, so they just sat on the sidelines. And the second portion would be lands in Tachat, near Smethers Landing, and some portions in Fort Babine in the Rainbow Alley area, and another portion going from Donald's Landing east, and also some lands in Talbot Lake and Pingot Lake. So those lands in total that we will be agreeing with the province of British Columbia is about 1,400 hectares. Now, these lands will be fee simple lands to us, and we will use it for economic purposes or residential purposes. Like, I'll give you an example, the land at west of IR number 12, Michelle Pierre, the citizens of Pole Fort want to build a new community where they can drive up and just a shorter boat ride just across the lake. So things like that, and also we're thinking of locating a fish plant somewhere within those areas. So there's a lot of discussion in forestry that we can use. There's a lot of submerged logs that at Pendleton Bay, throughout the lake of Babine Lake, that they used to float logs throughout the whole lake, and a lot of these logs where the mills were, or between transportation, the logs would sink to the bottom and retrieve some of these logs. Some of these logs would probably be old growth. So things like that we're looking at using it for these lands purposes. So basically, I just want to let the citizens of Lake Babine know that we have this agreement in place, and just to let you know that the lands that we have negotiated with the province, and there's $100,000 attachment to it for negotiating these lands. And also, I think I just want to let you know, the citizens, that this is not final. The talks with both levels of government within our whole territory is still under discussion. This is just the first step. And as I started when saying about the incremental treaty arrangements, is that it's for First Nations that are very close to AIP, agreement in principle stage, but we're far from that. But the province made an exception to us, because I think it's important that we push the governments and to show our citizens that there is some progress into this treaty making process. So I thank you. All the materials for the lands that I've just noted, and all the agreement is with the treaty office and with the Lake Babine main office. So it's free for you to look at, and it's important that you look at these documents, the maps, and the agreement. The band council will decide in January if we're going to go ahead with this. So I thank you, and have a Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.